Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to optimize a slow query in SQL Server by creating a right index. One of the most common reasons query runs slowly is because SQL Server doesn't have an efficient way to locate the data it needs. And when that happens, SQL Server often ends up scanning large portions of a table, which increases I/O and slows down performance. So in this demo, we are going to build a smart indexing lab from scratch. We'll create a test database, we'll create a table, we'll insert a large amount of data, we'll run a query that performs poorly, and then we'll improve that query by creating the appropriate non-clustered index. This is actually the same type of process database administrators use when we are troubleshooting slow queries in real environments. So for most of this demo, I'll be pasting the scripts instead of typing them out due to time constraint. I've actually included comments in the code so you can follow along and understand exactly what each part of the script is doing. So let's proceed. So first, I'm creating a dedicated test database called Indexing Lab. I like doing this because it keeps the demo isolated from other databases and it makes it easy to reset the environment if I want to run the test again. This is a pretty common practice when you are building performance tuning labs. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a table, because right now we don't have any table in this database. If we refresh our databases, they didn't create it here, sorry. So if we refresh our databases now, all right, now we see the index student lab database, but there's no table in this database at all. So we're going to go ahead and create a table. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a table called the customer orders table. And this table represents a simple customer orders system. It contains columns like customer ID, last name, first name, city, order date, order amount, order status. But uh, keep a look, keep an eye on the last name column, because we're going to use it later in the where clause, because this is the column we're going to be creating the non-cluster index uh, against. So just keep that in mind. All right. Now this table already has a cluster primary key. It already has a cluster primary key on the order ID. Now this means the table is physically organized by that column. But right now there is no non-cluster index to support searches by last name, which is what we are going to use in our test query. So let's go ahead and create the table. All right, if we refresh our database now, the index tuning lab database, we'll be able to see the customer order table. And just to confirm that we do have a cluster index on the primary key, if we check the indexes, now you see we have a cluster index in the primary key on the customer order table. But this is not what we're looking for. We're actually trying to optimize a slow running query. We're trying to optimize it by adding a non-cluster index. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to insert some data into this table. So we're going to insert about 100,000 rows into this table. So that should be enough for us to do this particular demo. So let me go ahead and get it, and let me reduce this. Let me reduce this particular pin a little bit. Okay, there you go. All right, cool. So I'm going to populate the table with a large amount of data. So in this case, I'm inserting about 100,000 data, actually about 130,000, but this should be enough to be able to from this demonstration. Having a larger data set makes it much more easier to see the difference between a scan and an index seek. So I'm also repeating some, common last names like Smith, so that our query has predictable result when we search for them. Okay, so let's go ahead and populate populate this data in the table. All right. So let me refresh it. Okay, cool. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to confirm the row count. We're going to see how many rows were actually inserted in that table. Just to confirm the amount of rows we are dealing with, within this table. All right. So if I run this, it gives us 100,000 rows. So this gives us an idea of the table size we're working with for this demo. So uh, 100,000 row is okay. It's pretty good for this demo. So we're going to go ahead and enable some performance metrics by enabling the set statistics IO on, as well as the set statistics time on. We're going to go ahead and enable these for our performance metrics. So, okay. Now these settings will allow us to see how much work SQL Server performs when executing a query. Statistics IO will show the number of logical reads, which tells us how many data pages SQL Server had to read. And then statistics time will show us the CPU time and the total execution time as well. So when you are tuning queries, these metrics are really helpful for comparing performance before and after changes. So let's go ahead and enable that. Enable these rather. All right, so now we have statistics IO on and we have statistics time on as well. All right, so the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to run a query without an index. And when we run that query, we'll look at the execution plan. We'll see what a SQL is putting out is a scan or a seek, which it should be able to put up a scan in this situation. And we'll also take a look at the logical read to see how many data pages SQL had to go through in order to get to that specific record. So let's go ahead and get that query and run that query as well. All right. Yeah, I added all of these comments to make it much easier for you guys to follow along. So we're gonna be running this query. So we're retrieving the customer ID, the first name, sorry, the last name, the first name, the order date, and the order amount, and we're getting it from the customer orders table where the last name equals to Smith. So we are filtering the rows by last name, like I mentioned earlier. All right. So since there is currently no non-cluster index on that column, SQL Server doesn't have an efficient way to locate the rows. Let me run this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let me include the actual execution plan. So yeah, okay. All right. So if we look at the messages in the statistics RO option, come on, increase this a little bit. Okay. So if we look at the message here, the logical reads shows 1,915. That means SQL Server has to go through 1,915 pages to get to this record, and this is not what we want because this is not performing at its optimal. So we want the lowest logical read as possible. But another thing to look at is the execution plan. If you look at the execution plan right now, it's showing a cluster index scan instead of showing a cluster index seek. So we have to optimize this query in order for us to get the fewest logical read as possible, and also in order for us to have SQL performing an index seek on the non-cluster index. Now, while why it is showing us an index scan instead of the index seek is because there is no non-cluster index on the last name column. Now, a scan means SQL Server has to read through a large portion of the table to find the rows that match our filter. And this increases I/O and can slow down query performance as well. So now let's go ahead and create the non-cluster index, and then you will see the difference in terms of optimization of the query, and you will see the reduction in the logical read, and then you will also see the execution plan will actually show that SQL Server is performing an index seek on the non-cluster index instead of performing a cluster index scan. So let's go ahead and do that. And to create a non-cluster index is pretty easy, very much easy. So what you do is you create a non-cluster index. You assign the index name. In this case, I'm creating the customer order's last name, and then you create an index on the table that you want that you are. You create an index on the table that you have this they have the column that you're assigning the index to within. So in this case, we're going to have the last name within the customer orders table. So we're creating the non-cluster index on the customer order table on the last name column. Now I also included this other column that the customer ID, first name and order date and order amount. I include this additional column to avoid any kind of SQL lookup. So we choose last name as the key column because that's the column that is used in the word class. Remember earlier when I told you to keep an eye on the last name column? And I'm also adding the other column, like I said earlier, from the query as included columns. This will allow SQL Server to return the query results directly from the index without needing to go back to the base table. And this is a very common indexing strategy when optimizing query. So let's go ahead and create this non-cluster index. Okay, now just to verify that we've created an index, let's go ahead and go back to our table, and then you'll see what I'm saying. So now, previously we had just the cluster index. Now we have a non-cluster index on the customer order table on the last name column. So the non-cluster index name is IS customer orders last name. So now we can confirm that we have a non-cluster index on the last name column. All right. So let me show you how this has optimized the query by adding this non-cluster index on the last name column. I will do that by running this same exact query. Remember we ran this query earlier and we got a logical read of 1915, and then the execution plan shows that SQL Server was actually performing an index scan on a cluster index scan instead of an index seek on the non-cluster index. So if I run this query again, you will see the difference. Okay. First, let's look at the execution plan. So now you can see SQL Server is running an index seek on the non-cluster. And if we go to the logical read, if we look at the I/O section here, the logical read has dropped from 1915 to 46. This is pretty good, really good, matter of fact. And let me tell you why this is really good. This is good because the logical read, this actually shows that data is read from the SQL Server buffer cache, which is the in memory, like the RAM. So this page already, like the page is already within the memory. So SQL Server does not need to access the disk, and this gives us a faster operation. So that's why you want to have the lowest logical read as possible compared to what we had earlier. And we only had this because there was no non-cluster index set up on that column for which we were retrieving the data from. And because of that, we're getting more logical reads than we were supposed to. And then the execution plan was showing an index scan instead of an index seek. So by adding this non-cluster index, we've optimized this query. Now we can be able to retrieve this record faster, and then we actually have the execution plan showing that SQL Server is performing a non-cluster index seek. which is exactly what we were aiming for. So, uh, 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 this is the kind of improvement that we look for when we are tuning queries. So this actually wraps up this video. It was a very short video on query optimization using non-cluster index. So in this tutorial, we built a simple indexing lab. We ran a query without an index, and then we improved the performance by creating the appropriate non-clustered index. This type of analysis is something database administrators do regularly when we troubleshoot slow queries. It's also important to remember that indexes are powerful, but they come with trade-offs. Every index requires storage space and must be maintained when data is inserted, updated, or deleted. So the goal is to create indexes that provide the most benefit for your workload without adding unnecessary overhead. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and then feel free to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials on SQL Server administration, performance tuning, as well as database troubleshooting. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.